Welcome to another edition of the Storm Report. I'm Matt Shellenberger, joined by women's head basketball coach Dorris. Coach, coming off a few losses on the road, one at Harding, and then one you were missing four key players. But then you lose a close one at Arkansas Tech. Can you take us through those games just a little bit in the process of them?
Well, obviously the one at Harding, we weren't, we were missing some key players and stuff, and knew that going in, and just was hoping that we could keep it close. We were battling flu. Two of them had flu. We lost one the night before through a walkthrough. Olivia Chapman with a separated shoulder, and then, all season long we've been without Miranda Taylor as well. So, just trying to keep it respectful without some key ingredients. And anytime you play one of the best teams, probably an 8th-rated team in the country on their floor, they got hot. And it just wasn't it was a recipe that wasn't conducive to very much success that evening.
Coach, the Arkansas Tech game, that was a pretty close game, 67-71. It was close to the end, kind of back and forth. What was it that you just couldn't quite do to get that victory?
They made shots. Down the stretch they made the key plays and we didn't. Not necessarily we didn't. We had good shots. It's just one of those things where. It was about a 30-minute stretch not 30-second stretch where they hit a couple of threes on us, and we weren't able to counter with it, and they got ahead of us a little bit, and we were able to execute on the back end and shoot a couple of threes ourselves on the back end, but we were already down 6 or 8 at that point.
Yeah, you shot the ball really well. 45% from the field in the game. Was it 17 turnovers? And then no bench points. Those have got to be two things that probably limited you.
Yeah, it did. You look at the box score and you have 3 players almost go for 20, and then you have one that scores 3 and another player that scores 2. We've got to get a little bit more. We've got to get a little more scoring from our other players as well.
Coach, what's one thing that you can do to kind of get things back on track right now? You have 2 straight home games, Thursday and Saturday. Those are going to be 2 opportunities to get a couple wins under your belt and kind of get some momentum.
I think the most important thing is for us to continue to harp and stress sharing the basketball. I think the movement needs to be good. I think we need to communicate, and we need to have good energy. We don't need to get down. We need to stay positive and understand what we're after and understand that it's still achievable, and then play every game like it's our last.
Coach, Henderson State comes in tonight. They're 12-7 and 7-6 in the conference. Last time you played them, Angelique Sledge went 7 for 7 from the 3-point line. She scored 36 points, but she's one of the best players in the conference, averaging 21 points a game. What's something that you're going to have to do to try and slow her down? She's a great player, but
she is. But I think the key is just not letting her get momentum early. We're going to try to deny her some touches early, see if we can, make sure she doesn't build up momentum like she did on us before. She made 7 straight shots, and a few of those 7 we're guarding her. Mm-hmm. It's just a kid making a play. We just got to make sure and do what we can do, control what we control, and most importantly, play team defense around it, so that when she does miss, that we're able to rebound the basketball, make sure that we don't allow them to extend the possession. And on our offensive side of the basketball, we've got to shoot the basketball pretty well.
They have a few other players that can obviously hurt teams as well. Crystal Beecham, 13.6 points a game. Tierra Davis averages 9.1. They've got a lot of people that can score the ball, and it's not just Sledge.
No, it's not. They're very athletic across the board. So it's going to be important for us to keep them contained, to make them shoot a tough 2, and then block out and rebound once we get them to shoot the basketball.
Coach, like I said, Henderson State tonight, but Saturday, another home game, Ouachita Baptist. They're not the greatest record, but they have improved. 5-14, 3-10 in the GAC. They're a pretty tough team to play, obviously, because you beat them 67-61 earlier in the year at their place, but that wasn't an easy game to win. What's something that you think that they've improved on since then?
Oh, they continue. He does a great job. They continue to be. They've been in almost every basketball game. You look at their record and say, well, it should be an easy victory. There's no easy victories in Great American Conference. You got to come ready to play each night, every night, because if not, you're going to go home with a loss.
Coach, one of the players that in the conference that probably doesn't get as much credit as she deserves because of their record for Ouachita Baptist is Nashia James. Averages 14.4 points per game. You know, is she one of those types of players that's probably underrated and people don't talk about as much because her team's record isn't the best?
Yeah, and sometimes it's a shame that sometimes you get judged on your team's record, but it is a team game, and so we've got to make sure, just like on this evening with Angelique, that we've got to make sure she doesn't get going as well.
Coach, you're headed down the end of your schedule. Last year at this time you're playing really well. Maybe you can get some of that momentum going. What's something right now that you're really stressing to your team as we work our way down the schedule?
Just to take it moment by moment, take it in 4-minute increments, and not to get too high or not to get too low, but to take every moment as it is and to play, you know, in 4-minute segments. Let's see what happens. Build on success and don't get ahead of ourselves.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us on the Storm Report. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with Adam Bohac.
Rowing to victory requires expertise, accountability, and most of all, teamwork. That's why Kate has Tinker Federal Credit Union right there in the boat with her, helping ensure she crosses each financial finish line in first place, so she can focus on what's important. Getting a little more bling. TFCU. We get it.
Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. I'm Matt Shellenberger, joined by men's head basketball coach Adam Bohac. Coach, you're coming off a pretty tough loss at Harding. That was a tight game for most of the night, and then you also came back, almost came back against Arkansas Tech. You trailed by 21. You almost came back in that one. Take us through the process of those games just a little bit and some of the key moments you thought.
Yeah, it's a tough road trip, Matt. Those are two really good teams, and then two great venues to play. I think both those schools enjoy a tremendous home court advantage in terms of atmosphere and fans and interaction, and just kind of from the moment you get on both of those campuses, they got a lot going on, a lot of students, and so that's a really tough road swing. I thought we played hard in both games and just didn't make quite enough plays to win on the road, or didn't play quite clean enough to win on the road.
Coach, for the first time since the 2011-2012 season, you've lost 3 straight, but they've all been pretty close games. You guys are playing hard. You're a young team. What are some things that you could have maybe done to maybe get those games to go your way?
Yeah, it's just little things, Matt. It's little things on each possession that over the course of a ball game add up to be really important. And you know, we've been a little loose with the ball at times in terms of handling it and maybe not getting a shot, resulting in a turnover. Other times maybe we've been casual in our approach to the possession and taken a poor shot, or not used as much as the shot clock as maybe we'd like to. We've seen some growth defensively. I think we've improved there just a little bit, and we were pretty solid on the backboards last week, so there's some encouraging signs as well. But to win in this league and to win consistently, you have to tie it all together at a high level each night. And we've done that at times, and then other times we haven't been able to do that. So we're searching for that consistency as we move forward.
As we kind of head down the second half of the schedule, we're more than halfway through, but what's something that you'd like to see your young team do a little bit better, and what's something that you constantly preach to your team that you want to see done better each game and game out?
Yeah, we talk a lot, Matt, about, you know, do the next right thing. And so if you look at it on a possession basis, that possession goes good, hurry up and run back on defense and get ready to do the next right thing. That possession goes poor and I turn it over, or I make a mistake, hurry up and move on to the next right thing and get on to the next play. And part of our immaturity and part of where we're at is we've let bad plays turn into another bad play, turn into a bad stretch. And so I'd like to see some growth in that here, you know, down the stretch, where we can get on to the next right thing quicker, whether the previous play was a positive or a negative.
Coach, you bring in Henderson State tonight. You played them earlier in the season and you won 87-78. What's something this time around that you're going to have to do better? They've got a lot of guys that can play. Taylor Smith, Melvin Haynes, Ronald Lawson, Reggie Murray, all those guys averaging double figures. I mean, that's a lot of people to stop.
Yeah, I think Henderson is one of the most talented teams in the league, Matt. And, you know, when they're clicking and playing well, they are an absolute handful. They maybe have the best balance of any team in the conference in terms of inside scoring, inside presence. Reggie Murphy, Ronald Lawson, those guys are big, strong guys who can score the ball. And then on the perimeter, I think they're the best three-point shooting team in the conference percentage-wise. The Johnson kid can really shoot. Kevin Kozan can really shoot it. Melvin Haynes can really shoot it. And so they put a lot of pressure on you with having so many talented scorers out there.
Coach, the Johnson kid, Dorris Johnson, something interesting about him is he's their leading scorer right now, but he's only started in 2 games. What's something, coming off the bench, that adds a new dimension to a team?
Sure. He's instant offense, Matt, and it's not like he's a gunner coming off the bench. He's super efficient. He's shooting 47% from the three-point line, and so he's a great asset to them. And we'll have to really be keyed in when he comes into the game to know personnel and close out really hard on him and try to contest his clean looks.
Kind of transitioning over to Saturday, as you had 2 straight home games, you bring in Ouachita Baptist, who they're 7-12 overall, 4-9 in the Great American Conference. They're a tough team though. I mean, last time you played them at their place, 71-69 in overtime. They've probably improved since the last time you saw them, as have you guys. Well, what's something that they're going to bring to the table and makes them difficult to match up with?
I mean, they're another team that's really well coached, really physical. Have a guy in Colt Faison who can hurt you in a bunch of ways, and then a couple guards who are pretty dynamic offensively, and they're always one of the tougher man-to-man defensive teams in the league, so they'll be a handful Saturday as well.
All right, Coach, I'll leave you with this. Thursday, Saturday, 2 home games. Got to be exciting coming back to your home environment and playing 2 straight home games.
Yeah, you only get to do that 3 times where you have 2 straight home games, so we need to take advantage, and regardless of what the scoreboard ends up saying, we need to play well and continue to try to build on some of the positive things that we've been doing lately.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us on the Storm Report. That'll do it. Be sure to join us next week as we go over this week's games and talk about the Southern Arkansas and Arkansas Monticello games. Be sure to join us on social media at SNU Athletics on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube as well. Thank you very much.